details emerge.
I just activated my emergency lights and sirens and he pulled right over.
On the attempted assassination of former President Trump. Caplin News exclusive interview.
50-50, the best case scenario to keep the Senate majority.
With Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell on the Florida Senate race. Attacks could start a derailment.
All parties refrain from any actions that could escalate the conflict.
Of ending the fight in the Middle East. And an inspiring story.
You have this, almost like a superpower.
On kid pursuing his dream despite his fight with cancer. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Julian Lascano.
I'm Denise Diaz. Today is Thursday, September 19, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
We begin this morning with a closer look at Florida's showdown for a seat in the U.S. Senate. National polls this morning showed that the Florida Senate race between incumbent Rick Scott and former Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell is in dead heat.
Mucarsel-Powell has built momentum after polls had her trailing by 8% when she entered the race. Caplin's Anthony Cruz is live from the Capitol to tell us what role in Florida she might play on the national stage this election cycle.
Good morning, guys, and yes, if you ask Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, Florida is in play and will be a tight race that may end up determining who will head the Senate in 2025.
There's such an energy on the ground that I don't think anything's going to stop that.
The ex-congresswoman and former associate dean of FIU's medical school has thrown a wrench in an already tight race to see which party will head the Senate come January, at a time that she's being outspent 4-1 by Senator Scott. If Republicans protect their 11 seats that are up for grabs and flip 2, the Senate is theirs. And with West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin retiring and Montana incumbent John Tester tied in some polls and trailing in others, Mucarsel-Powell tells Caplin News that the potential for an upset in Florida is turning more heads in her party.
We may see some more coming down is what we're expecting. I think that it's true. You know, right now we have a 50-50, the best case scenario to keep the Senate majority. We need to make sure that if we elect Kamala Harris to the White House, that she has a Senate majority that can actually support the policies.
Representative Mucarsel-Powell served Florida's 26th congressional district, which includes parts of West Miami-Dade County, for one term and was unseated in 2020 by Republican Carlos Jimenez in what was a big year for the GOP countywide. The Hispanic vote was a significant reason for this shift, and when asked if her messaging to the community changed this time around, Mucarsel-Powell says that she plans to be a voice for it in Congress.
There are a lot of issues that are particularly important to Latinos here living in South Florida that I have lived and that I will raise at the federal level. We don't have voices like mine in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and accompanying Mucarsel-Powell on the down ballot is an initiative to enshrine abortion rights up to the point of viability and overturn the 6-week ban that was passed in Florida earlier this year. Now, as well as to legalize recreational marijuana, both of these need 60% to pass, and currently abortion, according to the Hill, is at 55%, and legalized marijuana is at 64%. So one is looking to pass, and one is very close. Also on the presidential race, some polls indicate that it is as tight as 3 to 5 points in the state. So Florida may be a sleeping giant in regaining its status as a swing state. And if you want to check out more of the interview, more of what Debbie Mucarsel-Powell had to say on the issues, you could look at caplinnews.fiu.edu. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Anthony Cruz.
Detailing details this morning. Deputies in Martin County are detailing the arrest of a man accused in the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Reporter Todd Wilson from YPTV has more.
I could not be more proud of my crew.
Martin County Sheriff William Snyder says teamwork prevailed in quickly capturing 58-year-old Ryan Ruth. He says first, it's solid communication with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office that pointed them in the right direction. Then it's the keen eye of Deputy Nicholas Shaw who located Ruth on the road.
How did you get that man to stop?
I just activated my emergency lights and sirens and he pulled right over.
Driver! It's mile marker 112 on I-95, and both Deputy Shaw and Deputy Gideon Brenneville say they threw their squad cars in park and waited. They wait for a canine to show up and then give commands to Ruth to get out of his car with his hands up.
We want everybody to be safe since we didn't know I was in the vehicle. I was trying to back him up as best as I could.
Shaw says Ruth complied.
Honestly, I thought I might have had the wrong vehicle at some point just because of his demeanor. He was so calm, cool, and collected.
Keep walking! Here's video of Ruth, shirt up, surrounded by deputies, detectives, and the SWAT team. The suspect accused in the possible assassination attempt of Donald Trump placed in handcuffs.
Everybody went to their training and they executed it flawlessly. These guys and girls that were out there did everything exactly how they should have. And that is why we got the result that we did.
The capture leading to an unexpected invite from Trump to come to Mar-a-Lago. During the visit Tuesday, each deputy involved in the stop signed a pair of black handcuffs and gave them to Trump.
I talked to the president today, and he told me specifically that he can rest easier knowing that someone who was about to kill him or try to kill him was in custody.
The significance of what these deputies did in stopping a possible assassin brings them great joy in knowing they did their jobs.
And I remember standing there thinking, yeah, this is, this potentially could have been an absolute disaster, both before and after, had we not caught that guy collectively as a group.
That was WBT's Doug Wilson reporting. An arraignment hearing for Ruth is set for September 30th. He will be held in jail while he awaits trial.
Closure this morning after the chaotic highway shootings on Interstate 75. Deputies believe a man found dead near Lexington, Kentucky yesterday is the same man who fired shots on I-75. It ends 11 days of work that an armed and dangerous mass shooting suspect was on the loose.
We've had school cancellations, we've had church cancellations, people's been in fear. That's not the normal here in Laurel County. So now that this has been discovered, I hope that our county can get back to what's normal.
The highway shooter injured 5 people back on September 7th.
New addictly New and deadly explosions rocked Lebanon for a second straight day, targeting Hezbollah. CNN's Laura Aguirre has more on how these attacks could impact efforts to end the fighting.
More sirens. More explosions heard throughout Lebanon Wednesday. A blast, cloud of smoke, then screams at this funeral gathering in southern Beirut, one of many walkie-talkie attacks reported over the past several hours, leaving hundreds of people injured and a number of fatalities that could still grow. It's the second wave of attacks carried out by Israel's intelligence service and military forces, all targeting members of the militant group Hezbollah. Israel's defense minister calling it the beginning of a, quote, new era in Israel's war effort.
The United States did not know about, nor was it involved in, these incidents.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Cairo Wednesday, meeting with Egyptian leaders and working to advance the tenuous ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, potentially made even more fragile now by the events of the past 2 days.
It's imperative that all parties refrain from any actions that could escalate the conflict.
Sources familiar with the matter confirm that Israel did notify the U.S. ahead of time that it was planning an operation in Lebanon, but it did not give any details. Hezbollah has vowed to retaliate. That may only fuel what the world was hoping to avoid, a widening conflict in the Middle East.
We have warned about this for a long time, that this will end up with a regional war. And this is not in the interest of any side, any country in the region.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
A South Florida company has plans this morning to complete a multi-million-dollar project about a mile from Walt Disney World. The Miami-based Myers Group submitted a master plan concept earlier this week for the property, which would become known as the Ovation Entertainment District. The 77-acre property in Kissimmee will cost $192 million to make over. It's money that the county says its residents will not be paying for.
They will not. So most of the incentives that I just described will be paid by the person who's visiting the property. So if you're staying at the hotel, you pay a fee for that.
It's the former site of the Orlando Sun Resort, which closed several years ago and now is disappearing and covered in graffiti.
Elon Musk is under fire this morning, accused of spreading misinformation on his social media platform about the presidential candidates. After the second assassination attempt on Trump, Musk posted, "No one is even trying to assassinate Biden or Kamala." He later deleted it and said it was a joke. He also shared posts about a rich debate and bombs, scare, and pigs being eaten by migrants, a rumor which has been debunked.
Prime Day came early for Amazon warehouse workers as they will be getting a pay raise and free Prime membership. The online retail giant's 800,000 plus frontline employees will be offered the $139 million yearly Prime benefit for free, alongside an increase in the pay of more than $22 an hour. The wage hike comes ahead of a busy holiday schedule coming up, in which analysts are predicting increases in online sales.
The Marlins were late in their showdown against the Los Angeles Dodgers, but has it enough to secure the win.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
I feel like it shows people no matter what they have or going through, they can always get through it, and there's always something better always to look forward to.
A teen battling cancer refuses to give up his love for baseball, and he's inspiring others along the way. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Swinging away, a boy is using his love for sports to help him step up to the plate in his battle against cancer. This month, a Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, with organizations around the country working to find a cure.
A kid named Joe Sanson recently got the opportunity to throw out the first pitch at a minor league baseball game in Indianapolis over the weekend. Joe has a cancerous tumor in his cheek, but he continues to play baseball because it gives him a strength.
After you go through it, it's just like you have this almost like a superpower, have this extra strength. of like motivation.
It helped him get out of bed on days he wasn't feeling good. If he could just go at least watch practice and be there, it was something that lifted him up a little bit.
Joy's fight isn't over. He's going through 6 more months of maintenance. She will try to and prevent the cancer from coming back.
The Miami Marlins faced off against the Los Angeles Dodgers last night, and despite a late rally, the Fish came up short. Shohei Ohtani stole his 49th base, and the Dodgers jumped ahead early with homers from Will Smith and Tommy Edman. The Marlins rallied off late runs in the 7th with a 2-run single from Otto Lopez, but it wasn't enough to push the Marlins ahead. The final score was Dodgers 8, Marlins 4. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panther in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I am Denise Diaz.
I'm Julian Lascano. You can get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.